In this module, we covered a lot of ground when it comes to working with Git as version management tool. Let's have a look at the general commands we learned. A very important command was git -- version to check whether you have Git installed and also to check the installed Git version, specifically important for some commands like git switch, which are only available starting from version 2.2.3. We also had a look at git init, which allows us to create an empty Git repository, so to basically create our Git managed project with the combination of the working directory and the repository containing our staging area and the actual commits. We also learned that we can use the git status command to check our working directory and the staging area status. And we had a look at git log, which displays all commits of our current branch and which also allows us to check out specific commits by using the ID provided here in the log. Finally, we also had a look at git ls files to list all data, all files we have in our staging area. Besides the general commands, we also had commands related to commit creation and commit access. Git add file name or git add dot allowed us to add single files or all working directory files to our staging area. With git commit -m and then a commit message, we create a new commit with that explanatory message included. We also learned that with git checkout and then the commit ID, which can be found with the git log, we can check out a specific commit, but be careful, here we have the detached head topic we discovered in detail throughout this module. We then also had a look at branch creation and access. To create a new branch, we can use the git branch command and then specify a branch name. Alternatively, starting with git 2.2.3 and newer versions, we can also use the git switch and then the branch name command. Both will create a new branch in the end. With git checkout and then the branch name we specified, we can go to a specific branch. With git checkout -b and then the branch name, we can create a new branch and also check out this branch at the same time. We can also do this with git -c and then the branch name. That's again available in the newer Git versions. And with git merge and then the name of the other branch, we can bring or add another branch changes to our current branch. We did that many times with our git master branch, for example. Finally, we also had a look at our basic commands when it comes to deleting data. This was a bit more complex with more commands involved, so let's have a look at the summary now. The first way to undo changes is when it comes to working directory files. So if we delete files we have in our working directory and indicated by the asterisk, which were part of a previous commit already. For this, we have two different options, either git remove or git add and then the corresponding file name. We have to run this command after the file was deleted from the working directory to also remove it from the staging area and therefore to make sure it's no longer included in the next commit. We can also undo unstaged changes, meaning changes only made in our working directory. This means we added either an existing file, which was part of a previous commit, and we added some more code to it, for example, or we added a new file to our working directory. Both cases, either editing an existing file or adding new files, happened in a way that we didn't add these changes to our staging area. For files which were part of a previous commit, we have two options, either git checkout and then optionally -- and then the dot, which refers to all our files with unstaged changes. Or since git 2.2.3, we can use git restore and then the file name or also the dot to refer to all files where changes were made. This reverts all changes in tracked files. If we have untracked files, so files newly created since the last commit, we can simply use git clean and then -df. Don't forget, D is the deletion part, F stands for force here. Before df, you can use dn to give you an overview, a list of the files and folders which would be created. This is the command you need to delete untracked files. We can also undo stage changes. Here we have different options again, either git reset and then the corresponding file name, and afterwards we can check out the file with the corresponding file name, or since git 2.2.3, we can use the restore command to undo stage changes either for a single file or for multiple files. This will remove the files from the staging area then. We can also delete our latest commits, either a single commit or multiple commits. For this, we have different options with the git reset command, and the reset command, as we learned, head and tilde1 will remove the latest commit, till2 would remove the latest 2 commits, and so on. And we have different options to tailor our reset command. A soft reset would simply affect the commit, but keep the changes made in the working directory and in the staging area. A hard reset will remove everything, so the commit, changes made in the staging area, and also changes made in the working directory. Finally, we also learned how we can remove branches. This is pretty straightforward. We simply use the git branch, then -D, and then the branch name command. This will delete a branch from our git managed project here. So this was the summary of this module. With these basics in mind, you are now well prepared to dive deeper into some more advanced features. Really looking forward to the next module therefore, so let's continue. Welcome to the Git Basics assignment. Time to practice what we learned about Git in this module now. And as you can see down here in this instructions text file I prepared, the most important thing here is have fun with the assignment, so it won't be too difficult. We will just revise some of the concepts we learned about in this module. However, attached to this assignment, so if you scroll down a bit, you can find this instructions text file. So download the zip file and unzip it. There this text file will be in. And in this instructions file, you can actually find all you have to do in your first assignment. I'll not go through all of these 18 points together with you now. I think these are quite self-explanatory, but generally what you have to do is you have to create a new folder on your machine and initialize the repository. Then you have to paste this file you should download into this folder. Well, and then you have to add some files into this working directory. You have to create a commit, you have to undo changes, you have to create a second branch, and so on. So basically, some of the things we learned about in this module. Therefore, as I said, the most important thing is that you have fun with this assignment. And in the next video, we'll have a look at my solution and of course also solve this assignment together.